This morning, the U.S. Supreme Court says it will hear the case on birthright citizenship this May. This is about President Trump's efforts to overturn what has been a right, or seen as a right, for well over 100 years. This is the 14th Amendment. How it has been interpreted in the courts and elsewhere has been that if you are born in the United States, you are an American citizen, regardless of whether your parents are here legally or not. Again, this goes to the court in May. The president says he's excited. He sees this as a chance to get rid of it. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enten, is here. So, this effort to end birthright citizenship.
Yes.
How do Americans feel about it?
Yeah, okay. So a lot of scholars, legal scholars, will say this is a fringy idea. And I think the American public agrees it is a fringy idea. Take a look here, ending birthright citizenship. And keep in mind, this polling specifically asked about for children born to immigrants illegally here. Look at this. Just 41% support, 56% oppose. You rarely get 56% of the country to agree on anything. But on this one, they do agree that ending birthright citizenship, even for children who are here to parents who are born or who are here illegally, they oppose that idea. And keep in mind, I've looked at every single poll on the subject, different question wording. In every single one, the majority oppose. Oftentimes, the opposition number is actually higher than this 56. If anything, this is the low level, at least at this point in time.
Okay, again, to be clear, this is a majority against the president's position on this.
Correct.
How has this changed over time?
Okay, so I want you to take a look right here, right? This is this 41% who support that idea currently. Only about 4 in 10 Americans. Take a look here. This was a stat that I think surprised Mr. Berman. He was surprised by this one. Look, he's shaking his head off on the side. Support ending birthright citizenship. We get 41% now. Look where it was in 2010 during the Tea Party craze, right? 47%. How about in the early 90s? It was a majority who supported it. The number has been going down, down, down on this particular subject, which I think is quite surprising to a lot of folks because there's obviously the anti-immigration fervor in this country seems higher. But on this particular question, support ending birthright citizenship, in fact, we're near record lows on this number, at least over the last 30 years.
And to be clear, support for deportation is rising.
Correct.
So this is running in the exact opposite direction of what you might think. Support for ending birthright citizenship is actually going down.
It's exactly right. And when this was one of those things, I kept looking at the polling data. You know, sometimes you get one piece of polling data, then you look at another, and you average it. It's just very clear. It just used to be considerably higher than that 41% right now, which again is at the higher level of the polling that we've actually been looking at.
In a million years, this is never what I would have predicted on this, which is why it's so important to see what the polls are telling us here. How about this issue in terms of being a motivator to get to the polls?
Yeah, okay. So it's not just that only about 4 in 10 Americans support President Trump's position on this. You might also say, okay, but what if it motivates Republicans to go out and vote? Again, this to me was so surprising. Makes you very motivated to vote. Ending birthright citizenship. Just 31% of Republicans. This issue actually motivates Democrats more. 51% say it makes them very motivated to vote. This is just from top to bottom a political loser for Donald Trump and Republicans. They may like his stance on immigration overall, but on this particular question of ending birthright citizenship, even the children who are here from parents who are here illegally, it is a political loser. The majority oppose it, and Democrats become quite motivated to vote, considerably more so than Republicans.
Again, so interesting given that the White House thinks it is winning the political battle right now in issues involving deportations of Abrego Garcia and others. This I know is a separate issue, but again, this is a political battle they're not winning.
This is exactly right. This is a political battle they're not winning. Democrats are winning this political battle, and if I were advising the Donald Trump White House, I'd say stick to other issues on immigration, not this one, because this one, as I said, is a political loser.
Harry Enten, an education. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In our Law and Justice lead, more on that move by the U.S. Supreme Court, which agreed to hear oral arguments next month, May, on whether the Trump administration can take steps to try to enforce its executive order to end what's called birthright citizenship. While the legal fight over the plan continues, the U.S. Supreme Court will consider whether lower court judges had the authority to put that executive order on hold across the entire country. So let's talk about this with CNN's chief legal affairs correspondent Paula Reed and CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig. And Paul, the Supreme Court did not agree to Trump's request that would have allowed him to start enforcing his birthright citizenship plan right now. But it does seem significant that they're hearing this argument on whether or not the lower court even has the authority to pause his executive order.
This is huge because we've seen this tension between the White House and the judiciary building, and nothing vexes President Trump more than the fact that lower court judges a single judge can block his policy for the entire country. Now, he's not the only one this happens to. All modern presidents have faced this. It frustrates all of them. But look, no